ice, snow, and penguins. Those are probably the first things that come to mind when we hear the word Antarctica. Today, it's the coldest place on Earth, a continent buried under kilometers of ice, where winter temperatures plunge far below -60 degrees, a place where no large land animal can survive. But Antarctica didn't always look like this. If we travel more than 190 million years back in time, into the Jurassic period, we find a completely different world. Back then, Antarctica was part of the supercontinent Gondwana. It still lay close to the South Pole, but the climate was far warmer than it is today. Winters were chilly, but not extreme. The landscape was covered in dense forests, filled with ferns, conifers, and ancient araucaria trees. And even though the sun disappeared below the horizon for months at a time, the continent remained green and full of life. In this strange, cold but not frozen wilderness lived one of the most fascinating predators of its time. That predator was Cryolophosaurus, a theropod dinosaur about 20 feet long. It's famous for the distinctive crest on its head, which earned it the nickname Eldosaurus. Its fossils were discovered on Mount Kirkpatrick in modern-day Antarctica, making it the first known carnivorous dinosaur from the continent. Cryolophosaurus wasn't a creature of ice and blizzards. It was adapted to a cool, seasonal, but still thriving environment, filled with plants and prey. And that brings us to the big question. Cryolophosaurus lived in an Antarctica that was completely different from the one we know today. His world was cold, but not deadly. Green, not white. Full of life, not emptiness. So if we brought Cryolophosaurus into the modern world, could it survive in today's Antarctica? And if not, could it live in the Arctic instead? And if not, could it live in the Arctic instead? And where on Earth would it find the closest match to its original habitat? Could Cryolophosaurus survive in modern Antarctica? The short answer is simple, no. Modern Antarctica is nothing like the world Cryolophosaurus knew. Winter temperatures drop below -60. The continent is buried under ice up to 4 kilometers thick, and no large land animals live there because nothing can. Cryolophosaurus had no feathers, no insulating fat, and no adaptations for extreme cold. Its body was built for cool, wet forests, not for a frozen desert. And most importantly, modern Antarctica has no food for a predator of its size. In conditions like these, Cryolophosaurus wouldn't survive more than a few days. What about the Arctic? The Arctic is a completely different story. Unlike Antarctica, it isn't a frozen continent. It's an ocean surrounded by land. And that land supports plenty of animals: caribou, musk oxen, wolves, bears, birds, and rodents. Cryolophosaurus would at least have a chance here. In summer, it could hunt. Temperatures would be manageable. And the landscape would resemble the cool, open forests it once knew. But winter would be the real problem. Arctic winters are long, dark, and brutally cold. Temperatures plunge far below freezing, and snow covers everything. Without insulation, feathers, or the ability to store large amounts of fat, Cryolophosaurus would lose heat quickly, and the long polar night would make hunting nearly impossible. So while the Arctic is better than Antarctica, it still isn't ideal. Where would Cryolophosaurus survive best today? To find a suitable home for Cryolophosaurus in the modern world, we need to look for places that resemble Jurassic Antarctica, and those places do exist. The best modern habitats would be Patagonia, southern Chile, Tasmania, the Pacific Northwest of the United States, and Canada. These regions have cool, wet, forested climates. Winters are mild, summers are cool, and the vegetation is similar to what Cryolophosaurus once knew: conifers, ferns, and dense temperate forests. And most importantly, there's plenty of prey. In environments like these, Cryolophosaurus wouldn't just survive, it would likely thrive. Cryolophosaurus was a predator adapted to a world that no longer exists. But its fossils remind us that even the coldest places on Earth were once full of life.